Hey friends, in today's video, we're gonna talk about some of the products that made the 2024 Allure Best in Beauty list. I've got a lot of products here for you guys, and I'm gonna share some of my favorites, but I'm also gonna give you very objective opinions on these products and who might enjoy them, who might not. We have a ton to go through, so let's get started. Before we jump in, there's one product that I forgot to film and talk about in the video because it's not a makeup product, but I did want to give this curling iron a shout out. This curling iron made the list. This is the Ionic Curling Iron, and my hairstylist Gracie recommended this to me. I have coarse, thick hair, and sometimes when I would curl my hair and I'd want a more longer kind of wavy look, I would just get bigger, larger curls. And she recommended this to get more kind of that wave look, and I love this curling iron. This made the list, and I love, love, love this. So I'm gonna link this one down below. Okay, let's get started into the makeup. Okay, we have a lot of products to go through, so let's go ahead and dive right in. There are two complexion foundation products that I pulled to use today. The first one is the Soft Lit Luminous Foundation from Fenty Beauty. This is a long wearing luminous foundation. I have the shade 210, so we're gonna go in and apply this on one side of the face, and then on the other side of the face, we're gonna be using the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. So I will kind of give you my thoughts on both. Also talk to you guys about brush pairings. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 101 for the Fenty Beauty foundation. And this shade is a pretty good shade match for me. So if you and I are similar in shades, 210 is the route that I would go. And I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys, it's been a while since I used this foundation. So let's just kind of refresh my memory, shall we? All right, so I'm using the 101 because what I'm doing is I'm kind of pressing it in the center of the face to get some coverage from this foundation. And then I'll use the longer fibers to sweep down to kind of blend out those edges and sheer out those edges. Yeah, this is a really pretty finish. It's very luminous. And you guys, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you might know that I kind of lean towards more matte finish foundations. I live in Texas, so the reason I like more matte foundations is because they tend to wear longer, control oil, and shine throughout the day. So living in a hot climate like I do, I just find that matte finishes work better for me. So I rarely find a luminous foundation that I lean into heavy and hard. This one is actually nice if you like a luminous foundation. It definitely is luminous. It lights up. There's a lot of radiance beaming from the skin, but it doesn't look greasy or shiny. Go ahead and apply this here. I'm gonna kind of layer it and build a little bit. Okay, oh yeah, that's very pretty. Very pretty. So I did a full pump, but I'm only gonna do half of that because I'm only doing half the face with this foundation. I wanna go in and use the Danessa Myricks on the other side of the face so that we can kind of talk through both of them and I can kind of give you thoughts and highlights. Okay, this is very beautiful. It's very buildable. So initially when I went in and got that first layer on, I had pretty natural coverage. You could still see imperfections and see the skin through it. But then I went in and layered a little extra in the center of the face in the areas that I needed, and I was able to build that coverage. It is definitely luminous. There is definitely a glow here. So if you like luminous foundations, I think that you would like this. If you like more natural matte foundations, this might be a little too luminous. Okay, the touch and feel is nice. There's still a little bit of a tack to it, but again, I just applied it. So let's go ahead and apply the other side with the Danessa Myricks, and then let's come back to this and see if this self-set at all. But it feels very lightweight. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky. There's a slight wet feel to it, but let's give it some time. Okay, let's go in with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. I have this in two shades. I have the 4 and I have the 5. And I'm just gonna shake these up because it has been a while since I applied these. And let's see which shade is gonna be a better match for me. Okay, so 4 is definitely looking a little too light. Let's go in with 5. Okay, and for being a serum skin tint, this actually has a thicker consistency. You can see here, this was the Fenty Beauty. It slides down the hand when I lift the hand like this, where the Danessa Myricks doesn't really move a lot. So that tells me that the texture is not real watery. Let's go ahead and pick this up. Ooh, this is nice. This definitely feels like a skincare product. Just in touching it, it feels like there's skincare benefits to this. Okay, we're gonna go in and I'm just gonna kind of apply this all over with my finger, and then we'll go in and blend it out with a brush. I'm gonna use the same brush, but I'm gonna kind of wipe off the foundation that was on the brush, and we're gonna go and do the same thing. I'm just gonna bounce this over the skin. And because this is a skin tint, I'm actually just gonna bounce this to blend it in because I wanna get the most coverage from this. I don't really wanna shear this out. So I'm just gonna use this motion to blend, to apply, and also to blend this out, just bouncing it. It blends into the skin really quickly. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Ooh, okay. Also seeing a really pretty glow with this. Let's go in and add a little bit more. This is really pretty. This also has quite a lot of luminosity to it. Ooh, this is really beautiful. It definitely leans a little bit more sheer in terms of coverage. I'm not getting the same amount of coverage that I got from the Fenty. Looks more like a true skin tint. Okay, I'm gonna go and add a little more to see if I can get more coverage from this. This is beautiful. Both foundations are really beautiful, but if you want more coverage for an luminous finish, the Fenty Beauty looks really nice. If you want something more natural and sheer and a luminous finish, the Danessa Myricks is the one. Ooh, okay, they both are beautiful. Both very, very pretty, very luminous. So I definitely think these are worthy of the Allure Best in Beauty awards. The finishes are beautiful. The reason that I don't wear these a lot is because it's a very luminous finish. And like I said, my immediate reaction is I want to go in and powder this down and just kind of set it. But again, that's a personal preference. So it's nothing against the product. It's just the personal preference that I have is to lean a little bit more matte. But both of these are beautiful. The Danessa Myricks gives a more sheer, true skin tint finish, where the Fenty Beauty gives more coverage and gives more of the look of a foundation. But I like both of them for luminous finish if that's what you like. Okay, so you guys, there are two concealers that were on this list that I have, and I love them both, so I'm very excited to share those. The Haus Labs concealer was one, and then the Fenty Beauty concealer was the other. So let's go ahead and apply the Fenty Beauty on the side where I applied the Fenty Beauty foundation. This is the We're Even Hydrating Long Wear Concealer, and I love this concealer. It is very, very hydrating, great coverage, and long wearing. I have the shade 210W, and I find this concealer really, really easy to blend. It's very hydrating and creamy, so you have some time to blend it. It doesn't dry down too quickly, but it is long wearing. I don't have an issue with this concealer creasing or settling in fine lines. Of course, I always powder my concealer. I think that every concealer, regardless of any claims that it makes of being, you know, anti-creasing, anti-caking, if you have fine lines and texture under there and you don't set with a powder and you apply even the slightest bit too much concealer, you're gonna have some creasing. So this one though, I really don't have issues if I powder. Now the key is using not too much concealer, use just enough. So I like to apply a little bit in the inner corner, a little bit in the outer corner, and then I kind of blend the two versus applying it all the way underneath the eye. I love this shade. It conceals and it gives a really pretty highlight and brightening effect to the eye. If you have dry under eyes, this is a great concealer. You can feel how creamy and hydrating it is. It feels so nice, but it's also very lightweight. Oh, so good. I love, love that. Okay, next we're gonna go in with the Haus Labs. And the Haus Labs concealer was actually one that grew on me. I remember purchasing this back when it launched, and I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't really fall in love with it until later. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure Nikki LaRose loves this concealer. I'm pretty sure that she kind of convinced me to try it again, and then I fell in love with it. Now this concealer is definitely thicker in consistency than the Fenty Beauty, so also a little bit goes a long way. It's a little creamier. It's thick, kind of gives it a negative connotation. It's not thick, but it definitely is a little creamier. It's a little thicker. Let me just be honest. It's a little thicker, and you can even see it when you pull it out, but it doesn't look heavy on the eye. So even though it's a thicker consistency and viscosity, it doesn't look heavy or cakey. Again, just apply a little bit. I have the shade 13 Light Neutral. I'm gonna use the same brush, but we're gonna kind of remove any of the Fenty concealer that we had on it, and I'm gonna do the same technique. So what I like to do is I like to kind of spread these two together. You can also do this with your finger, spread it together. Then I'll go in and press the brush to blend it out. And I just like to press, 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 and then I'll extend the concealer out here to meet the tail of my brow. That just gives the eye and the face a little bit of a lift there by taking your concealer upward. It's very subtle, but it does make a difference. This concealer gives great coverage. I think the Fenty Beauty gives slightly a bit more. This concealer is buildable, so if you want a little more coverage, you can just get a little more by adding more. They both give a radiant finish, but the Haus Labs gives a slightly more radiant finish. I'm gonna go back here. Whenever you're applying your concealer, after you apply the first eye, go back. After you've applied the second, go back to the first eye and just kind of tilt your head down. You might see a little settling in fine lines, and just take your brush again to kind of bounce it and absorb any excess. Okay, so now we have both applied. Both of them are great. I think the real key differences between these two is the Fenty Beauty definitely feels more hydrating than the Haus Labs, and the Haus Labs texture and consistency is slightly thicker. Be mindful when you apply both of these. Never over apply any concealer. I think when you over apply any concealer, it's not gonna look flattering, but particularly the Haus Labs, don't over apply it because like I said, it is a thicker consistency and you don't need that much. Okay, so let's talk about powder powders that were recipients of this year's Allure Best of Beauty. So we're going to start with the loose powder, and I completely agree with this evaluation of this powder. Such a great powder. We're talking about the One Size Loose powder. Now, I have it in a couple of shades. I have it in the translucent, which is the one I'm going to apply today. I also have it in the ultra pink, and then I have it in the rich peach. So what's nice about these powders is they come in a variety of different shades for color correcting and brightening, depending on your skin tone. We're going to go in with the translucent because that is the one that I would recommend to anyone just purchasing this for the first time. Translucent is good because it's just versatile. You can use it, you know, on any skin tone really. What I love about this powder is this is the ultimate blurring powder. If you have large pores and you want to minimize and smooth them out, this powder will do it. If you have oily skin and you want to control oil and shine throughout the day, this powder will do it. Now, if you have very dry skin or you like luminosity, don't buy this powder. It's going to cut any glow or luminosity from the skin and mattify it. So keep that in mind. This definitely is for that person that likes matte, poreless, heavy duty, you know, setting powder. Now, even though it's heavy duty, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to look heavy or cakey. That really depends on the tools that you use to apply it and how you apply it. I'm going to go in with the BK Beauty 108 brush. And what I love about this brush is its size. It really allows you to precision powder. And I'm just going to take this powder, I'm going to also tap off any excess so that I don't go underneath the eye with a ton of powder. I'm gonna just slightly set underneath the eye with this powder. And then I'm also gonna set right here where my pores tend to be a little bit larger. And let's go ahead and zoom in. I'm gonna show you guys the before and after. So I like to just press with the 108 brush. I'll also kind of press around the mouth. And then I will set the center of the forehead. And if we can zoom in real quick, because I would love you guys to actually see this in real time. So do you see this shine here? Now, if you want to cut that down, I mean, this powder, you guys, just, it almost, you know what it looks like to me? You know those apps where you can go in and like filter the skin and you just see shine and texture disappear? That's essentially what this does. Did you see that just happen? I mean, seriously, this is a phenomenal blurring and setting powder. Now, again, if you have dry skin, this is not going to be for you, but normal, combo, or oily skin, you will love this. So good. Okay, now another option if you have dry skin or if you want to maintain some luminosity to your foundation. So let's say you apply your luminous foundation, you want to set it, but you don't want to use a powder that's just going to erase and cancel out that luminosity. This is a great option. This was an Allure Best of Beauty winner. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Pressed Powder. And this is a very, very fine, silky finish powder. It's absolutely beautiful. And I have the shade Neutral. So when you look at this, there's a slight peachy tone to this, which will kind of neutralize and cancel any darkness. Keep in mind, it's pretty sheer, so it's not going to like majorly cancel out darkness, but it will slightly brighten the skin. I'm actually gonna take the N15 brush because this is a lighter powder. I'm going to load my brush up with this powder. You can also set underneath the eyes with this as well. And I'm just gonna set right underneath the eyes. Do you see how that brightened? That really brightened underneath the eye. And then I'm gonna softly set right here around the mouth, but I'm not going to kill that luminosity. Do you see how I still have some luminosity in my skin where this side looks much more matte and flat? So that's really the key differences between these two powders. Another powder that was on the list, and I actually like to keep this powder in my purse. It's a product that I've used for many years and I love it. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrushed Pressed Powder. And I have the shade 2. This is a really nice, light setting powder, touch-up powder. It does have some pigment to it, so it's not completely translucent, but I love to keep this in my purse. It comes in a nice, small, compact. It's going to mattify and touch up your makeup, but it doesn't look heavy. It is a very silky, lightweight formula, but again, it is going to add a little bit of color. So if you are someone that touches up, 3, 4, 5 times throughout the day, you might choose a powder that is more translucent, because if you use a powder that has pigment and you continue to layer that throughout the day, it's just adding more of a makeup look. And it's okay to do that once or twice, but by 4 or 5 times, it's going to look like heavier makeup. So keep that in mind. If you have really oily skin, I would probably do a translucent setting powder versus one that has some pigment to it. Okay, you guys, let's talk about some cream contour and cream bronzer. Now, there were several products listed on the Allure Best of Beauty winners that I personally use and love. I'm going to talk about 3 of them and I'm going to demonstrate and apply 2 of them. So first up, we have the Patrick Ta bronzer and the cream and powder duo. I love this product. There was a good like 6 or 8 months where I feel like I use this in every single video. It is so good. One, I love that you get a powder and a cream combo in this product. And I love that both of the formulas are phenomenal. It's not just like the cream is amazing and the powder I'd never use. Both of them are phenomenal. Now I have this shade, She's Bronzed. I also think the color tones that he developed are just perfect. They are perfect, perfect, perfect. Not too orange, not too warm, not too cool or gray either. Just a really good balance. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 109 brush. This brush is really great for cream or liquid contour or bronzers. One, the size of this seriously makes it the perfect brush just to get right there on the cheekbone. There's no guesswork. And what I love about this is you can literally just bounce it over the product and it is going to keep that product concentrated into the area, which is the size of the brush, which is perfect, but it's also gonna blend it out. So we're gonna go in here with the cream. I'm actually gonna just kind of apply it right here on, like my cheekbone is right here and I'm gonna follow that. I'm not gonna place it above it. I'm not gonna place it below it. We're just gonna follow that. I also love the amount of pigment payoff that you get in this product. You can see that you get good pigment payoff, but it's not too rich and it's not too sheer either. So it's not a product that you have to layer and layer and layer to get color, but it's also not a product that you're easily gonna mess up because it's too pigmented, right? So good. I love, love, love that. Now I also love taking this around my hairline and this brush is perfect for that too. So I'll just kind of bounce it right on the hairline. And when I'm doing the hairline, I use a different motion. So if you notice, I'm kind of actually sweeping and just really pressing and buffing this into the skin. I'm actually moving the brush, where on the cheek, I'm just pressing, I'm doing this. When I get to the hairline, I'm actually kind of dragging. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm just trying to sheer it out a little bit more. I want it more concentrated here, and I want it to be a little softer and sheer around the hairline. Oh, so, so good. Also, this brush is really great for the nose. I'm just gonna go and use the longest side of the brush and just kind of sweep it up the side of the nose. Ooh, so, so good. Okay, you guys, so let's move on to another product, another cream bronzer that was on the list. And this one I bought a long time ago and I just recently fell back in love with it, even before I realized it was on the Allure Best of Beauty list. This is the LYS No Limits cream bronzer. And I have, no, this is the shade's too dark. This is not the shade. I have Harmony, but my best shade is right here, okay? My best shade is Motivate. It's a lighter shade. I think it might be the lightest shade. And this you can do two ways. You can, go straight from the brush to the product and then to the skin, but I actually like applying it on the skin from the component, and that's kind of rare for me. Usually you'll always see me take the brush to the product, but for some reason, I just love how easy this applicator is. You can see that it's a triangle shape. I use the thinnest point, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna apply it right in on that cheekbone. I also love the tone of this. This tone is a little bit cooler than the Patrick Ta, but still it's not too gray. And same thing, I'm just gonna use the 109. I'm just gonna bounce, bounce, bounce. What I love about this formula is it's very creamy and very blendable. It's like butter, it's so nice. It's like softened butter. It's not like butter, it's like softened butter. Room temperature butter. Oh, it's so good. I don't even know if I like this better than the Patrick Ta. I might actually. Right now, this is my favorite cream bronzer of the moment. Okay, don't overblend. If you overblend, then you kind of just erase what you have. So then I'm gonna go right here on the hairline. Let's see if I can do this with a mirror. I'm gonna go right here on the hairline. And I'm also gonna go on the side of the nose too. Look at that. We're gonna use the same brush. So again, around the hairline, I'm gonna sweep and kind of stroke the product to really sheer it out. Let's kind of meet the middle here. And then on the nose, same thing. I'm gonna just press and pull up to blend that out. Oh, both are so good. You really can't go wrong with either one of these. I think when you're selecting which one is gonna be best for you, they're both phenomenal. It's gonna come down to the packaging. Do you want a stick formula that you can swipe on? Do you want a palette formula that also comes with a powder? So those are the key differences. The cream formulas they're both beautiful. Although I will say that right now the LYS is kind of leading the way for me. It's so, so nice. Okay, another bronzer that I want to talk about that made the list that is definitely worth mentioning is the Saie Beauty Cream Bronzer. And I really like this formula. This is definitely more pigmented in my opinion, but I also have a shade that's slightly too dark. I can make it work and I have made it work, but I need a lighter shade. I got the shade Medium Bronze in this. This formula is really nice too. It's very creamy. It's very pigmented. Let me show you guys what this looks like on the skin. It's beautiful, but I definitely need a lighter shade, and that's why I don't reach for this all the time. It's also much warmer and just a little too deep for me, but this is a nice formula too. And I'm pretty certain that the LYS and the Say are both clean at Sephora products. The Patrick Ta, I'm not certain on. It's possible. I'll confirm and leave a note down below. By the way, I'm going to list all of these products in the description box. I'm also going to tag them in the YouTube shopping platform to make it easy for you guys to shop. But let me confirm if the Patrick Ta is clean at Sephora, and I'll make a notation down in the description box. Okay, so what do we think of the skin? Let me do a quick check-in. Loving the way everything is looking. I'm actually kind of loving the look of this side a little bit better. I don't know if you can zoom in. I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick this up on camera, but the skin looks more natural in the sense that it just looks a little bit lighter. It's definitely more mattified on this side. Again, that's that one size powder. I just love how poreless and smooth it makes everything look. If you look underneath my eyes, you guys, do you see how you can see more texture on this eye and less on this eye? So remember, on this side, I use the Fenty concealer, the hydrating concealer, and then I use the Bobbi Brown enriched powder underneath it. So I use two luminous products, and luminosity can sometimes accentuate texture. So keep that in mind. And I think in this case, it definitely did. And I don't even know if I would have noticed if I hadn't done this side more blurred and matte. But when you compare the two, you can definitely see more texture here than you can here. Let's go ahead and move on to blush. I have two blush that made the list, and one is high end and then one is drugstore. And actually these are both favorites of mine, so I'm excited to share. So let's start with the drugstore affordable option first, the Milani blush in Luminoso. When I started my channel 10 years ago, I remember making videos talking about this blush. It has been, a favorite for literally a decade. It's such a nice, beautiful blush. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 112 to apply this, and we're gonna apply this on the right side of the face. What I love about this, it's a powder, but it has luminosity to it. So even though it's a powder, it's gonna light up the face. It's gonna give a little bit of a glow. It's a really pretty apricot color. Oh, it's so gorgeous. It does have quite a bit of shine to it though. So keep in mind when you are using products that have, some shimmer, pearlescent to it, it can magnify texture. So keep that in mind. If you have large pores in this area where you apply blush, you might find that blush with this finish is going to magnify that. It is kind of doing that here in this case for me. I'm just going to kind of sheer it out. Okay. Nice. Now let's go in with the other blush. And this is a new favorite. This product actually just launched this year, I believe. It's the Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tints, and I have the shade 62, and I love this product. When I purchased this earlier this year and I used it for the first time, I immediately knew I loved it. There are some products that you can apply one time and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. And then there are other products that really grow on you, like the House Labs concealer for me. This was a product that when I applied it, I immediately knew like, I love this. I need this in more colors. So I'm gonna go in and I'm actually gonna apply this directly to the cheeks. What I love about this formula is it's very blendable. So you have time to blend it out. It doesn't dry or set too quickly. I'm gonna take the same 112 brush. I'm kind of wiping off some of that powder product, and I'm just gonna go and start by pressing and blending this all together. Now, what I love about this formula is it's nicely pigmented, but it's very easy to sheer out. I also love that it's a liquid cream formula. So it's gonna give you that luminosity and light up the face, but it doesn't have shimmer to it. So just like I was saying, if you use blushes that have some shimmer, they can magnify texture. You don't have to sacrifice luminosity and a glow. You don't have to sacrifice that. You can still get that, but you can use products like cream or liquid blushes that'll give you that glow just because the texture of them do that. Do you see? Oh, that's so beautiful. What I also love about this product is you really can sheer it out. So if you apply too much, it's very easy to fix. It's a product that you can run in the center of your face if you want to. It's just really beautiful and natural. It's a product that you could even apply with your fingers and it'll look gorgeous. If you are going to use a brush, my brush of choice is the 112. I love the size of this. It's just perfect for right there on that cheekbone and kind of getting here up in the temple. It's nice because it's not too dense, so it really allows you to sheer out product, particularly liquid or cream. The more dense a brush is, the more coverage that you're going to get. But sometimes when you're doing blush and you don't want a lot of pigment, you want to be able to sheer and spread it. a brush like the 112 is perfect. Okay, you guys, if you're still here, drop a comment and let me know you're still here. I knew this video would be long. I was kind of debating, should I just like add in B-roll of me applying all these products and then just do a video where I'm talking about each one? But then I thought, you know what, we're gonna apply them all. We're gonna make this a long video. We're gonna have some fun playing in makeup. So that's what we're doing. Okay, you guys, let's move on to a highlighter that is on the list. I actually have two highlighters that are on the list. I have one that is a liquid, and this is the mini size, by the way. When you purchase it, you can purchase the mini, but you can also purchase the larger. I do have the larger. I just don't have it here in my studio, but this is the Saie Beauty Glowy Super Gel. This is the shade Star Glow, and I love this product. This is a very innovative texture and formula. It's a gel. It's nice because it's liquid, but it really does like dry down and set beautifully. It's also I mean, how do I describe this? It's just so versatile. So you can see the luminosity and glow that this gives. You can wear this product in so many ways. You can apply this all over the skin before you go in with foundation, and it'll give you a very subtle lit from within glow all over the face. It won't be too heavy. It won't be too shiny if you apply your foundation on top of it. Now, if you were to apply your foundation and then apply this all over the face, it's going to light up and give the skin a major megawatt glow. So very different. You know, underneath it's going to be more subtle. On top of it's going to be like major megawatt, right? You can also use this on top of makeup once you have all your makeup on to strategically highlight in areas that you want. And so that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to apply a little bit of this on my hand, and I'm actually going to just use my finger to apply this. I'm going to use my middle finger, and I'm just going to kind of bounce this right here, like in the temple, right above the brow, right here on the highest point of the cheekbone. Almost kind of like the orbital bone right here. Do you see what that does? It just brightens and lightens that up. It's so beautiful. If you have mature, textured, or dry skin, using a liquid or cream products as much as you can, it's going to be your best friend, trust me. So this is really, really beautiful. It's subtle. It looks like the skin is naturally like beaming. It looks like natural glowy skin. It doesn't look like makeup. Okay, the other product is the Rare Beauty Powder Highlighters, and this is very different in terms of the finish and the payoff. This also gives a megawatt glow, more so than the Saie Super Gel. Like, this looks like makeup to me, but it's still very beautiful. When it comes to powder highlighters, this is one of my favorites because it is one of the lighter weight powder highlighters that I found, but it definitely looks more like makeup. I'm gonna go in with the N14, and I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of this with the tip, and I'm gonna apply it in the same areas that I applied the Saie, but this will give you a good example and kind of comparison of the two. And I'm just gonna kind of press it right there. Do you see how that's just a little more intense? Look at that versus that. Just a little more intense. It's still really pretty and beautiful, but it's just a little more intense. I also love to use this like to highlight right in the inner corner of the eye. Let me show you what that looks like. I like to pop this right here in the inner corner of the eye. Oh, so good. You can also pop it right underneath the brow if you want just a subtle little pop of light there. That's really pretty. So I love both of these highlighters. Again, it just comes to what your preferences are in terms of texture, formulation, and payoff. If you want something more natural and light, go with the Saie Beauty. Also, if you want something you can apply all over and all over glow, go with the Saie Beauty. I would never apply this product all over the face. You would look like the Tin Man, but this is really great for strategically highlighting. We are getting down to it. We are on eyes now. Now, there were several eye products that made the list that I have here to talk about. First and foremost, let's talk about the Merit Solo Shadows. I love these. These are a cream shadow, and they come in a pot. Now, these have a very silky formula. When it comes to cream shadows in a pot, this formula truly is unique, and it's subtle, but it's unique. It doesn't feel like a MAC paint pot, in my opinion. MAC paint pots feel heavier. This feels lighter and a little silkier. This gives you about 20 seconds of playtime. So if you apply it on the eye and you want to manipulate it and move it and blend it out or shear it out, you've got 20 seconds or so. But once it dries, it sets and it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna list my favorite shade down below. It's like a warm peachy brown. This one is a close runner up though. This is Vachetta. I'm gonna show you what this one looks like. It's really pretty neutral. I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna apply it all over the eye. And I'm gonna go in with the N16 brush from the Nikki LaRose BK Beauty collection. And I'm gonna load the whole brush up with product. So I have the whole side of the brush loaded up. I like to place the tapered tip right in the inner corner of my eye and just sweep it. Now you can use this as a base to apply other shadow, but honestly, when I wear these, you guys, I usually just wear this as my shadow, and I might pop in a shadow in my crease to give some definition, but I don't go and layer shadow on top of it. You certainly can, but the beauty in these is that they're easy, they're quick, they eliminate the need to do all of that. But for today's sake, I am going to be applying shadow on top of this because there are other shadows that I want to show off and talk about, so just keep that in mind. But I love the Merit Beauty cream shadow sticks. I think they're all matte. I don't know that they have any shimmers. This one doesn't have any shimmer, but it just looks very elevated, very sophisticated, and that's what I think of when I think of Merit Beauty. I think of just simple, minimalistic products that have a very elevated, polished look to them. Ooh, this shade is so pretty. Okay, maybe this is my favorite shade. My other favorite shade that I was referring to is warmer than this. It's similar, but it's warmer. But this looks really nice. I'm gonna take this home with me. I'm gonna take it out of my studio and take it home with me because this is nice. Okay, so let's move along. We definitely love the Merit Beauty shadow sticks. There are a few other eyeshadows that were on that list. So the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks are on there. I have the shade Caramel. These are really nice too, you guys. I think they reformulated these recently. I'm pretty sure that they did. But yeah, these are really nice too. But honestly, if you're going for, and this particular shade is nice, it's very similar to what I have on the eyes now. If you're going for a cream shadow stick, I don't think you can beat Bobbi Brown's. They're kind of my favorite longwear cream shadow sticks, but I did want to mention that the Laura Mercier made the list. Okay, you guys, let's bump along. I just have 2 more products to share for the eyes. Okay, this brand is called Kulfi. Kulfi, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It's Kulfi. And I bought these earlier this year. These are the Zari Eyes eyeshadow. I bought the shade Bronze Brocade and the shade Sitara Sparkles. And I think we're gonna go with the bronze today, but I wanna show you, these are so gorgeous. They are like this creamy, moussey texture. Oh, they're so stunning, you guys. It's a wet, creamy, moussey texture, and look at this. Okay, so this is the shade Bronze Brocade, and this is the shade Sitara Sparkles. This is gorgeous. Oh my God, these are so nice. If you want like high impact, foiled, metallic look, these are it. They're gorgeous. You can wear these all over the lid. You can also use a pencil brush and apply these on the lower lash line as eyeliner. They are stunning. Okay, so we're gonna definitely play with that. Before we do, let me show you the other eye products because I wanna use both of them. I wanna use this product and this next one, and I kind of need to figure out in my head how I'm gonna make them both work. So the next product is from Rabane, Rabanne. This is the mini palette. I bought this at Ulta. I bought this several months ago, you guys, and to be honest, I don't know that I've used this. So no, I have used this, but it's been a while. So let's play with this. So this is the shade, the mini palette, and the shade Put a Ring on It. It comes with 2 shades, very sparkly. Let's go ahead and swatch these. So you've got this really pretty taupe shade. Ooh, yes, I remember. These are so nice. You've got this really pretty pewter taupe shade. Then you've got this kind of rose gold glittery shadow. Let's swatch both of these so we can see. Okay, so that's what you get from these 2. What are we gonna do here, you guys? What we're gonna do this shade on the lid, and then I'm gonna go in with the Kulfi Eyes cream shadow, and we're gonna use this around the eyes as like a lower lash liner. I'm gonna go in with the BK Beauty 203 for this product, and I'm gonna load up the side of it. This brush is great. It kind of mimics your fingertip. So you know how you like to apply like high impact shadows with your fingertip? This kind of mimics it. It's very dense, so just use the side of the brush and then just come and press it on. So this particular formula is glittery, you guys. It's a little chunkier than what we're gonna apply with the Kulfi. It's not as creamy, so you really have to make sure that you press. If you load up and sweep this on the eye, you're gonna have fallout. If you use a brush that's too fluffy, you're gonna have fallout. So you just need to make sure that you choose the right brush and that you just pack and press it on. Also, having a primer underneath this is gonna be key. Whether that's a primer or a concealer or a cream shadow, you need something to kind of adhere and grab this. When you're working with shadows that are a little bit more glittery like this, fall out if you don't have something that just adheres to that really pulls that in. Okay, this is beautiful though. Oh my gosh, I love that color, and I actually love it on top of that Merit Beauty brown. It kind of cuts it down a little bit and just, oh, so pretty. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go in and play with the Kulfi shadows. We're going to go in with Bronze Brocade, and I'm going to take the BK Beauty 210 brush. This is a little, actually, you know what? I'm going to take the N12. I'm going to take the BK Beauty N12. This is my favorite brush for smudging or smoking out liner. I also love to use this on top of like an eye kohl pencil and just really work it in there and smudge and smoke it out. So I'm going to use this brush, and I'm going to load up this product, okay? We're gonna really load it up. And I'm gonna come and I'm gonna run this on my lower lash line. Oh, so gorgeous. This eyeshadow is stunning. I remember when I bought these and the first time I used it, I was like, I have to tell everyone about these. They're so good. If you like makeup and you like fun shadows, but you still want something neutral. That's what I love about this shade is it's still neutral. So even if you like to keep your makeup more simple or polished or neutral, this is like your fun color. You know, you're still neutral, but the texture of this and the finish of this gives it that fun impact. And I'm just gonna press this right underneath the eye. Oh, so good. I love makeup. Makeup is so fun. And I just love all the innovation that's been in the beauty industry over the last like decade. You know, I remember when I was getting into makeup in junior high and high school, we didn't have formulas like this, you know? You couldn't find these super innovative textures and formulas and payoff and it's just so fun. Like makeup is so fun. Oh my God, that looks gorgeous. I love the way this looks. Okay, you guys, let's bounce over. I forgot to talk about brows. There is one brow gel that was mentioned in the Allure Best in Beauty recipients, and I love this brow gel. It's from Kosas. It's the Air Brow. I have the shade Honey Blonde. What I love about this product is it gives volume. It really fluffs up and gives some volume to the brows. I have very sparse brows, so while I can draw them in with the pencil, I still need to go in and add some volume, and I love this one for it. It's one of my favorites. I also love the e.l.f. Brow Wow or Wow Brow. That's a really good one. I talk about that one a lot. But this did make the list and it is worthy of the recognition. Definitely worthy of it. I love it. I just like to go in there and comb and kind of back comb it into right here at the bulk of the brow just to give a little extra volume. So good. Yes. If you back comb it in and then go back and comb it the right direction, you'll really get some added volume. Okay, you guys, let's talk about lips. We need to finish up with some mascara. So the mascara that was on the Allure Best in Beauty winner that I personally own is the Panoramic from L'Oreal. Everyone loves this mascara, so let's go in and apply it. Let's give it a good go. I know that I've used this at some point, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. I don't remember what I think about this. It's been a while since I've used it. So let's go in. I don't have anything on my lashes right now, so we're gonna place this right here at the base of the lash. We are gonna wiggle back and forth so that I get a lot of the product off of the wand and onto the lashes. Ooh, okay. Yes, I see why people love this. So if you know me, you know I love high impact lashes. My lashes are thin, they're straight, and I like length and volume, of course. Who doesn't want longer, fuller lashes? Why do I have to pick one? I want them both. But if I had to pick one, it would be volume. So if I'm gonna choose a mascara, I want it to be a stronger player in the like volumizing game than necessarily the lengthening game. You know what I mean? And so right off the bat, I need some drama and I need some volume, and this one is giving it. So very, very good. I also am able to separate the lashes really nice with this. Let's see if I can fan them out. So I like to really go in and layer and coat. I like lots of volume, but of course I don't want them to look clumpy or heavy. You know, nobody wants that. All right, I am gonna stop here because I can tell that if I keep going, I will get a little clumpy with this. Let's go do the other side. I also like how wet this formula is. I don't remember when I bought this, but it's been a while, you guys. This is not a fresh tube, but it definitely feels and is applying like a fresh tube. So I can already tell. Did you notice how when I went into this eye, I closed the eye and I wiggled back and forth, back and forth? When I was on this side, I was busy talking and I didn't do that. I just kind of swiped like this and I wasn't getting the volume that I got the first time. So keep that in mind. If you want mega volume, place the wand, rest your lashes, wiggle back and forth, then go in and pull up. Sometimes it's as simple as how you apply a product that is going to determine the performance of that product. Formulation obviously is very important, but application is just important. And that's why people always ask, like, why did you launch brushes? And that's why, because brushes can really make or break your makeup look. Having the right products and having high performing products is definitely important, but you can have the most high performing, best foundation there is. If you're not using the right tools for that product, you're not gonna get the same results. You're not gonna get the results that you want. So tools and application are so important, you guys. So lots of volume, lots of length. This is a great mascara. I'm definitely getting the look that I love. The only thing I'm gonna note on this is that if you continue to build and build, it does kind of get a little clumpy, so keep that in mind. But for a L'Oreal mascara, I don't know the price point on this, but it must be what, like $10, $12? It is phenomenal. It reminds me of some of my Tarte mascaras, like my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. It's kind of giving me that same effect. Okay, you guys, let's talk about a couple of lip products that made the list. First, we're gonna start with the Merit Beauty Matte Lipsticks. This is a lipstick formula that I love. It's matte, but it's not drying. I have a couple shades here. What shades are we gonna use? We're gonna use this one right here. So this is the shade, oh, I hope this is the right shade. I'm gonna leave the right shade down below. The only thing I have to say about Merit Beauty, you guys, I love all their formulas and I love this formula, but the only thing is I wish that they put the color on the bottom of the lipstick. They put it on the lid. I have so many of these and sometimes I have 6 of them out and I'm taking them all off and using it. So if I put the wrong lid back on the product, I have the wrong name. According to the lid that was on this, it says that this is the shade Classic. I will confirm this though and note it down below, but this is what it looks like. It's a really beautiful, peachy, neutral shade. I'm gonna apply this all over the lips. I love how pigmented these are. I love the formulation because it's matte, but it's comfortable on the lips and it has great staying power. So I'm gonna apply this. It's so nice and smooth too. I love it. Merit Beauty has some really solid formulas, you guys. If you haven't tried them, give them a try. Their lip oils are also really, really nice. Okay, so there's the shade. I believe it's Classic from Merit Beauty. Next, we're gonna go in with the lip oil that made the list and highly recommend this. This is the e.l.f. Beauty. Pink Quartz is the shade that I have, but this is their lip oil. And honestly, this is a very good dupe to the Dior. I love the Dior lip oils. I have several of them. This is a very good dupe to those. They feel very similar. They have a different scent. The Dior's have a slight like pepperminty scent. These have a scent to them, but it doesn't smell the same. These do feel a little bit thinner. They don't feel as thick as the Dior, but once they're on the lips, they feel similar and they give that same high shine. So the applicator is very similar. If you want that same effect, you know, and you want to save some money, I would recommend the e.l.f. They're really, really nice. When it comes to lip oils, there are formulas that are thinner, there's formulas that are thicker. I would say the e.l.f. is right in the middle of the road. The Dior is a little bit thicker. The Merit Beauty's a lot thinner. But the e.l.f. is a good middle of the road. Okay, you guys, one more product that I want to mention. I was actually shocked because I think this product should win an Allure Best of Beauty award, but its little sister made the list and it's the YSL Candy Gloss Lipstick. So there was a YSL lipstick, I think it was their lip oils that come in a stick that made the list. And so when I saw that, I got excited because I grabbed this. I was like, oh, I can't wait to talk about this. But then when I looked closer at the list, I realized it wasn't this formula. It was the lip oil stick formula. I think the Candy Gloss trumps that formula all day long. I love this product. This is the shade 15. It's a really pretty neutral rosy brown, or it's more of a brownie rose, I should say, because it definitely leans more rose than brown, but it has a really neutral brownie tone to it. But my favorite shade is the shade 13. Do I have it here? Oh, I don't have it here, but you guys, that is my favorite shade. I've purchased my second one already. It's a really beautiful, like peachy apricot shade. I'm going to list it and link it down below. So I just wanted to give that a mention. This did not make the list, but I think it should have. So that wraps up this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you are still here at the very end of this video, I already know this video is going to be a very long one. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the time that you spent with me today. Can you drop a little comment down below and said made it so I can see those of you that stuck around? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next one. Bye.